Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
The liberal left hates God. The liberal left hates prayer. The liberal left is standing in quicksand. You can offer the rope of hope, but they won't take it. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Tuesday. Good morning. And a good morning to you. I'm Zeb Bell, and welcome to the program, Zeb at the Ranch. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, getting you ready for a big road trip. Whether it's this spring or summer, they've got the best of tires at all 7 locations. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and start the day off right with the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is so nice to hear from the prettier half of the Cottom family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God bless. Have a good day. Thank you very, very much. Nice lady right there. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast. KNR Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Right there, smack dab on the Burley-Paul Highway. Can't miss it. They've got all the best tools and equipment and ready for you. I mean, you need to dig post holes, they got post hole diggers. If you need to have a power rake or a rototiller, oh boy, they've got it all for the spring get ready time. They've got all the tools and equipment at K&R Rental. And I'll tell you, Roger and the crew, they get there early in the morning, 7 o'clock, to serve you at K&R Rental. Number to call, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Another beautiful day here in the valley. However, as we make our way towards the weekend, there is some precipitation that's going to be looming in the forecast. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny skies is what we're expecting today. High of 79. Winds out of the southwest, right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of 81. However, for tomorrow night, looks like some clouds are going to be moving in. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 52. Partly sunny for Thursday. Winds are going to be picking up as well out of the southwest, right around 10 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 24 miles an hour with a high of 70. Thursday night, slight chance of rain showers and thunder bumpers in the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies and a low of 43. That could stick around for Friday. Slight chance of showers, then a slight chance of thunderstorms by the afternoon, mostly cloudy, and a high of 61. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina, and brought to you by our friends at K&R Rental. I urge you to go over there and check out all the equipment. I'm telling you, they even got special washers for washing down and cleaning buildings. They've got it all for you at K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Hayburn on the Burley-Paul Highway, 678-3122. And right now, Wheels, this good word for Brad Little.
When electing a governor, character counts.
That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land. And he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And don't forget, Thursday, sale day at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, May, Cade, Rogge, Lance, Udy. Oh, the sale that works for you. 10:30 starting time this Thursday. Burley Livestock Sale Yard in Burley, 1100 Occidental Avenue, and the number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Sale Thursday, Burley Livestock Sale Yard. By the way, don't forget, when I get a chance to talk about Kevin and Cindy down there at Daryl's Cleaners, I'm talking about the best cleaners around anywhere. Don't throw those winter clothes into a drawer or the closet. Get them cleaned, have them ready and all set to go next fall when it gets chilly. And they do a wonderful job. And talk about restoration of items. They are fantastic. So please, dry cleaning prolongs the life of all the garments. You stop in and see them today at Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley, serving you. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to be very blunt on a lot of things this morning. I'm not getting paid to just be mishy-mashy. I'm just going to tell you like it is. The United States needs protection from enemies from all around our borders and, quite frankly, inside of our borders. We need a strong CIA. There is a lady by the name of Gina Haspel that is running for the head of the CIA, and her nomination is going to come under criticism today by the dim Democrats that absolutely are going to try to block anybody and everybody the Trump administration tries to put forth. This lady, Gina Haspel, is going to be sitting on a hot seat today answering some of the most stupid questions and insane questions about why she did certain things and in the interrogative measures to get information from the terrorists. Quite frankly, she is the best person for the job. What she did, she thought of Americans first and not worry about the absolute vermin, worthless terrorists, and they are. Now, she's going to be asked, I will bet you, and if I'm wrong, I will apologize. I don't think I'll have to offer that apology. I think she's going to be asked to apologize for her actions and the way that they garnered information. And I certainly hope she looks them in the eye and says, no. No. America first. We'll get the information. And to heck with the naysayers. Quite frankly, we live in a mamby-pamby world right now where liberalism is coming in and trying to grow like a cancer, and anything to protect us is criticized. I say good for her. I say any and all measures or methods needed to get the information to protect our school children, to protect our bridges, to protect our businesses, our buildings. Fine, get it. And she did. Gina Haspel needs to be appointed head of the CIA. End of story. Don't forget our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They open early in the morning at 7:30 and stay open till 5, Monday through Friday, for all your heating. Now think about cooling and electric needs. They've got it all for you, and they are such professionals. They've been in business serving you for almost 60 years. Wow, what a tribute. They are the best. Burley, is happy to have them. The area is happy to have them. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue with the telephone number 678-0459. Also want to take some time quickly and remind you about Denny's Restaurant. Hello, Thomas and the crew at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland and Burley. Oh, my goodness, great food, new additions to the already great menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, anytime, all the time. You stop in and visit, have a great meal, you're gonna thank me. It is America's Diner. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Denny's Restaurant. You stop in and see them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, in your younger years, when you applied for a job and they said you could have it, didn't you, they had rules that you needed to follow and to be loyal to the company, right? And I'm sure you were. And that's all Gina is doing, is what she agreed to do. And she should not have to apologize for doing what is right.
Keith, I don't care about the liberal people in this area. They make no concern to me whatsoever. And there are people in this area that are so concerned about, we can't torture anybody. We can't go and get any information like that. Yes, we can and we should. I do not want to see a school child. I do not want to see a school. I do not want to see a senior citizen area. I don't want to see anybody under attack or siege by the absolute vermin in the world that would like to attack and kill us. And if there's a way to get the information, get it, and I don't care how.
I agree with you 100%, and that's exactly what she did, was what she's supposed to do.
That's exactly right. And these bleeding heart liberals that are sitting there, and you can mark my words, Keith Cottom, some senator, male or female, today is going to look at her and almost try to extract an apology, and I hope she looks him in the eye and says, well, I won't say what I'd like her to say, but I hope she says no.
What kind of credibility would she have if she just goes with the flow?
That's exactly right.
Just no. Go ahead.
No, I didn't interrupt. I agree with you. We need credibility, we need honesty, and we need a forthright statement that we're going to protect the United States citizenry first, and who cares about the vermin, worthless terrorists? I do not.
And John Kerry throwing his medals over the fence in defense of this, and they weren't really even his medals.
No, I don't want to get into John Kerry right now because that's a different subject matter, but I'll guarantee you I'm going to talk about him in a little bit. Keith, I always appreciate your comments, and your lovely wife did a great job on the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much.
She's the best.
All right, my friend, I got to run. Caller number 2, I'll be there in just a moment. Don't go away. Vote May 15th for Kevin Williams, running for State Representative, District 27. Kevin is pro-Second Amendment. Kevin is pro-teacher support and education, and he's very supportive of our police and agricultural economy. Fresh new ideas for a stronger, more productive Idaho, paid for by Kevin Williams for State Representative, District 27. Kevin Williams, Treasurer. Also want to remind you, too, Leonard Beck wants your vote on May 15th to be your District 1 Cassia County Commissioner. Don't forget, Leonard will be your voice for economic growth, protecting property rights, and helping promote education and job opportunities for our youth. Leonard Beck, a lifelong resident of Cassia County, wants to be a strong voice for you. Vote Leonard Beck for Cassia County Commissioner May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Leonard Beck, Devon Rucker, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You got to stand for something, or you're going to fall for anything. There's a lot to truth in those few words there, and that she stood up for her country, and I can't express how grateful I am of that. It seems that the liberal left is going to fight any which way that they don't see right. I mean, if you could give them the right answer, and they don't care because it's not their idea. It wasn't their deal. And they don't care. In my opinion, it doesn't seem like they really care about anything but their own ideas and getting their own way like a spoiled, rotten little kid.
Well,
it's either ride with a friend, or go back to your town, sit in your chair, and shut the hell up and let us make America great again, because we're tired of being drugged through the mud.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I want you to give me an honest answer on this. And Wheels, turn him up a little bit, but ride the gain a little bit, please. Okay, let's assume that you're that person in the head of the CIA. Let's assume that you have 3 terrorists that have been captured, and they know of a plot to blow up a certain part of the city and or schools, and they won't give the information. I guarantee you, I believe you and others will get that information any way possible to save the lives of those young people. I am sick and tired of this mamby-pamby, oh, we can't do that attitude. Yes, we can. Yes, we should.
If I was in that situation, I look at it like this. It's better for one man to perish than a whole nation to die.
Yeah, you've got that right. And I am so fed up with this attitude.
I would, without a doubt, without a blink in an eye, without feeling guilty one little bit, I would do everything that I possibly could think of, and I'm kind of twisted in some ways, to get what I needed to know to protect my kids and my family members and my country. And I wouldn't stop.
I agree with you, Riley, and I absolutely would do the same thing. And for these bleeding heart liberals that say, oh, well, we can't do that, we're way too civilized. Listen, civilization ends when someone's holding a gun to a child's head. That's the end of civilization and the end of that worthless vermin terrorist as we know it. That's what has to happen.
That is right. And also with civilization, they have to have some people to do the dirty work.
You've got it.
Work doesn't necessarily mean shoveling out toilets.
You've got it. Hey, listen, man, your key's stuck in the lock and it's dinging. See you later. Okay, thank you. Calls welcome 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This idea that's being permeated in our society today, oh, well, we can't because we're better than that. Wait a minute. Do you mean to tell me we're a better society if we sit back and let children be killed and or shot or blown up or buildings brought down or whatever the horror might be? Are you kidding me? Get the information. Gina Haspel did. She belongs the head of the CIA. Caller, I'll be there momentarily. Please stand by. Don't forget Pomerelle Place, a place for seniors. Believe me, you don't want to stay at home alone. You don't want to cook your own meals, especially like if you're like me. Pop-Tarts, that's it, man. That's all you're going to get. Along with maybe missing your medication. No. Don't take chances like that. Call Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living today in Burley at 1301 Bennett Street. The number to call, 677-8212. They offer the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably at Pomerelle Place in Burley, 677-8212. And real quick, let's not forget our friends at Dino Septic Service. They do the job that you and I don't want to do. That's right. Fast, fair, friendly service, liquid waste removal, septic inspections, water and sewer lines drained and installed. I'm telling you what, septic tanks pumped. They do it all with a big smile on their face. And I'll tell you, they got that great big truck that says Smells Cargo on the way. You call them at 436-6526 or in Burley, 678-1638. Dino Septic Service, absolutely the best. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
If you have children and somebody is doing something horrible to your children, I'll tell you what, you'll do just about anything to get your kids back.
You better believe it.
I think that people forget that life is so precious. If somebody is just going to take life just because they think it's a lot of fun, they don't need to be respected.
You know, Chris, you know as well as I do, the liberal mindset in this country is that, oh, no, we'll just sit down and talk to them, and maybe if we show them love and compassion, maybe they'll understand our way. And no, we can't do anything that might interrogate them as far as waterboarding, and oh, no, that's so harsh. I'm going to tell you something right now, and I don't care who likes it or not. If you have to start pulling fingers out, not fingernails, fingers, do it, because I don't want to see one child or one person suffer because of their terrorist, absolutely insane actions.
Yes, and my father was a soldier in the Second World War, and he was he was a high-ranking, leader. And he said, you have to just lay aside some of the things that you've been taught in Sunday school when you are trying to save your men and save your country.
Amen. Amen.
I think he had to do it. He never told us kids about it, but with his resolve when he talked about that, I know. And who won the Second World War? We did.
Absolutely. Chris, you are always a welcome addition phone call. Thank you so much for calling in this morning, and I certainly hope you have a wonderful, nice day. Thank you.
Gosh, it's too nice to not have a nice day.
That's true. Thank you. All right. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about Muslim Congressman Keith Ellison. Oh, what a real jewel he is. Stay tuned for that. Calls are welcome. Don't forget Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call to make an appointment, you should, they're the best, at 678-1191. Nick Greenwell heads up all the great physical therapists with all the exercises, sports therapy, and, of course, that great big pool. Yes, the hydrotherapy pool that'll absolutely help you. It helped me. It will help you. Make an appointment today to work with the best. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191. Also, don't forget, May 15th, re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3. Tim knows that Cassia County has a lot to offer with heritage and history, and he wants to help more of the county move forward. Tim Darrington has been very involved in updating county policy reimbursement and in updating Cassia's software. Re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3, May 15th, paid for by the Darrington for Commissioner Committee, Gail Erickson, Treasurer. I have no patience with anyone, I don't care if they're a national figure or locally, that wants to disband and not support our United States of America. I put Muslim Congressman Keith Ellison from Minnesota in a category of cesspool politicians. He wore a T-shirt this last weekend that in Spanish wording said, "I don't believe in borders." Another show of stupidity and anarchy of the Democratic Party. The Democrats have turned into a worthless group of brain jackasses. That's their logo. I'm not making anything up. Nothing but hate and fear, and hate Trump, fear success, and this so-called party, the Democrats, have zero to stand on, and this is one of the people that's causing the problem, with lies, innuendos, and hate, and an open borders policy of absolute anarchy. How could anyone in their right mind, there's the question, support that party of absolute chaos here in the United States? And wearing a T-shirt might not sound like much of an action to you, but for a congressman of this United States of America to say, "I don't believe in borders," and basically issuing a statement to the world that, come on in, come on, come all, yeah, open chaos. This man needs to be thrown out of office. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, of course, when you have integrity serving you, you don't just turn it away. You want to keep that man serving you because he's done a diligent job of making sure all the issues and working for you is his prime concern. I'm talking about re-electing Representative Fred Wood, District 27, on May 15th. It is true. Integrity serving you. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. I'd like to see our DOJ start going after these senators, whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever, for not holding to their vows to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Because we should be able to have a recourse other than just at the voting booth. They need to be held accountable because they are destroying this country. They are taking us down so they can have their one world government. That's their final destination. And the end justifies the means.
It goes higher than that. It goes all the way up to Obama and his staff, especially the traitor that I'm going to nail as a traitorous person against this United States, former Secretary of State John Kerry. He should be in ball and chains this morning and thrown into a prison cell with nothing more than bread, water, and ketchup.
Exactly. I mean, have you ever seen such, I'm at a loss for words, I mean, disregard for tradition and rule of law that has happened in the last 8 years and that is going on now by the administration that has been voted out?
You know, Doug, I had a person the other day say something to me that almost made me turn and want to hit them on the end of the nose. A person said, well, Zeb, you know, you've got to be more accepting of the other side's viewpoints. And I thought, why? The other side's viewpoint is one of anarchy and chaos and anti-constitution, anti-God, anti-prayer, and I'm never going to be accepting of that.
I never am either. And they're the ones that keep preaching the tolerance, but yet when you start throwing facts at them, that's when they blow up and go off the deep end and calling you racist, sexist, any excess that they can think of.
Well, you know, it's just like this deal with Gina Haspel. I hope this woman sails through without any problems in her nomination for the head of the CIA. But you know that's not going to happen. The stupid Democrats are going to sit there, and I guarantee you, Doug, I guarantee you today, someone is going to ask for an apology for her actions.
Oh, yeah, and I can just about guarantee who it'll be. Probably Booker will be one of them.
Yeah. I'm really concerned that she is going to have her life twisted and torn apart by senators that don't know anything. They don't know Kamir from Sikkim, and they're going to cause all kinds of problems like they have with the other Trump appointees that still haven't got their offices, still haven't put anything in their desk. All the Democrats are doing is just absolutely destroying America with hate and fear. They have no platform.
They don't. I want to see them run on this platform that they've been boasting this last year and a half, this Russia, and impeach. Impede. I'd like to see them run on that when people go to the ballot this November, when they've got more money in their pocket from the refund. They've got more jobs out there. We're at the lowest unemployment we've been since before 2000.
That's right.
And the black unemployment is a record low, so is the Spanish. So is the women unemployment at a record low.
You know, when you look at what's done, I don't care if you don't like Trump. I don't care if you don't like his personality. I don't care if you don't like anything about his business acumen or anything else. All I care about is look at the success ratio he's had in the first year and a half, and the Democrats have nothing but hate and fear.
Exactly. He's done this with no help from both parties.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not one that just calls the Democrats out and say the Republicans are golden. They're not.
And I've said that on my program numerous times, and you know it. When a Republican deserves to have a good public flogging, he will get it.
Exactly. They're public servants. We do not let them govern us. They serve us.
Well, now that we've got that issue cleared up, I'm going to talk about some politicians running for office.
Go for it.
Thanks, Doug.
Everybody, let's do what we can for our senior centers. Let's take care of them. Donate. If you can donate to them,
God bless you if you do.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Thank you much. Idaho needs Nominee. Bob Nominee for Lieutenant Governor. Vote May 15th for proven effective conservative leadership. Bob Nominee has 25 years experience in local and state Republican politics. He believes in quality, affordable health care, parental choice in education, and wants to create a positive business climate with limited government involvement. Vote for Bob Nominee for Lieutenant Governor on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nominee, Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer R. Scott Hogue. And also on May 15th, he's running unopposed, but this man is the best man for the job. Vote for Senator Kelly Anthon, District 27. Proven leadership with strong conservative values. Senator Kelly Anthon wants to preserve our Western small-town way of life and serve you in the Idaho Senate. Kelly believes in low taxes, the Second Amendment, and minimal government in our lives. Remember, re-elect Kelly Anthon, District 27 Senator, on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Kelly Anthon to the Idaho State Senate. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Another story, what we were talking about, if you just tuned in, about John Kerry, I find this to be the most appalling story of anything in the news today, that here is a man that was a former, underline that word, former Secretary of State. And now I believe that John Kerry falls underneath the category of current traitor. He is going around behind the Trump administration, and I don't know how he's allowed to do this without having somebody grab him, handcuff him, and throw him in jail. But he's trying to subvert and do anything negative he can about the Trump administration on the reevaluation of the Iranian nuclear deal, which was a farce, a joke, and a deadly commitment. This man, John Kerry, absolutely, I will stand behind my words, is a traitor. I don't care if you want to refer back to the Logan Act or anything of antiquity. I'm saying that today John Kerry is a traitor. Keep his mouth shut, lock him up, do anything, but he is subverting the efforts of an administration right now to get us out of a bad deal and to keep America and our allies safe. John Kerry is a traitor and is despicable, as are most of the liberal left. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Gee, I hope somebody didn't tune in this morning and wanted me to be mamby-pamby and nice, because I'm not in that mood. Berry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. And they've got 3 locations, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hello, Juan. I called Juan yesterday. I got to hear from him. 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin with Eli and the Nampa location. And they've got all the big Bobcat excavators and the itty-bitty Bobcat excavators. They've got all shapes and sizes for you. Don't know how to run one? Don't worry. They've got a big sandbox out behind, and they'll teach you. Seriously, they will teach you. All you need to do is stop in. Equipment rentals and retail equipment sales, all there at Berry Equipment and Rental in Burley, Twin Falls, and in Napa. The best, Berry Equipment and Rental. Really, really good people. Come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Guess who is the new president of the NRA, the National Rifle Association? Maybe you already know, but I think it was an excellent choice. And many people, I think, are going to get tipped backwards a little bit on this. Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Very good choice. Outstanding choice to be the new president of the NRA. I think the policies and the approach to the policies and the presentation of the policies of the NRA, much more accepted. I have the utmost respect for Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. I met the man, shook hands with the man, talked to the man. I think he would be an excellent, excellent president of the National Rifle Association. Congratulations on his pick. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. Did you hear, this is away from politics a little bit this morning, but I was listening to the news earlier about 4:35 this morning, and I didn't get exactly what town it was in. But they were having tryouts for next year's cheerleading squad at this high school. And one of the girls came home and said, "Mama, they didn't pick me as a cheerleader." Oh. And the mom got all upset and bent out of shape. And so she went to the school and raised holy heck and demanded that the rules be changed and that the school accept everyone that wants to be a cheerleader. No losers. They all can bounce out there on the basketball court and look dumb. And she won. The school changed their rules so that everyone that wants to be a cheerleader can be. No cuts. Everybody's a winner. This is absolutely the problem in America today. Boy, that really taught those girls something. Well, I complained. I didn't win. My mom went to bat for me, and now I'm a cheerleader. Nah, 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 nah. What's going to happen later on in life when you don't get a job you want? Nah, 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 nah. I don't think the boss is going to turn around and say, well, everybody come to work for me. Nah, 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 nah. It's not going to happen. Let these kids grow up and understand what real life is like. But demanding that your daughter become a cheerleader, maybe she wasn't good enough, talented enough, couldn't do any of the drills, whatever. Oh, but that's all right. I'm going to yell and scream, and I'm going to make my daughter a cheerleader. Boy, my proud parent. Yes, sirree, Bob. What do you think of that? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, give me a jingle. Like to hear from you. Hey, by the way, too, don't forget, Representative Clark Kaufman is running for re-election for state representative in District 25, Seat B. Kaufman believes in building consensus through common sense. He has voted to protect your Second Amendment rights, voted to promote fair and reasonable tax laws, and voted to create a business-friendly climate in Idaho. Vote Clark Kaufman on May 15th. Paid for by Kaufman for Idaho State Representative, District 25, Seat B. Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, my gosh. I just heard you talk about the cheerleader thing. That little cheerleader, boy or girl, whichever it is going to be so shunned by the other kids that she'll rue the day that her mom did this to her. Because kids have a way of doing justice.
Chris, I disagree. I disagree with your verbiage, what her mom did to her. No, it wasn't what her mom did to her. It's what her mom did supposedly for her. It was kind of a, Mommy, they wouldn't let me be cheerleader. Would you help me? Oh, whoa, we got to change the rules. Her mother did that daughter the greatest disservice of her life.
No, I agree. It did to her or did for her. The mom is the problem. And this little girl is never going to succeed because her mom did this to her.
Yeah.
She's never going to have confidence. She's never going to be able to step up for herself. And if Mommy isn't there to do it, she'll just die. So the best lesson you can give your kids is saying, if you want something, I'll back you, but I'm not going to do the work. You get out there and do the work, and then it'll be your victory.
Absolutely. But what are you teaching? And by the way, let me hold on just a second, Chris. I got to ask Wheels something. Wheels, I'm hearing some static. Is the line real fuzzy, or do we need to replace it quickly?
No, the line's perfectly
fine. All right,
fine.
thank you.
Go ahead and change it
I heard a little bit of fuzz. Chris, this society today of everybody's a winner, everybody's a champion, everybody gets a trophy, we are going to rue the day in this country that idiocy was ever started.
Mm-hmm. And I understand you probably better than a lot of people do. because I have a son who has a handicap, and I could really have handicapped him if I did everything for him, went to the school and made sure he got the all of the heads in the class, and yet I didn't do it. And now he's on his own. He lets me into his apartment once in a while because, of course, as a mom, I want him to pick up his dirty clothes. Anyway, and he has a great life, and he's independent, and I actually don't worry about him too much. But anyway, you got to push your kids out. They've got to get independent and get secure in their own life.
There is no such thing as everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a participation trophy. Nobody wins. Nobody keeps score. That kind of lunacy, and that's what it is, exampled by the liberal left, is what's crippling this great society, and I'll stand behind those statements 100%.
Well, you and I, we have personal experience, and you know how good it feels to do it yourself.
Amen. Chris, again, God bless you for your call. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Wheels, may we have this good word, please, for my friend Representative Fred Wood.
Integrity serving you. Re-elect District 27 Representative Fred Wood on May 15th. Fred has protected the economic value of Idaho's water. Fred has worked diligently to increase education funding and higher teacher salaries. Fred has stood firm for tax cuts and low taxes with a small, efficient government. Re-elect Fred Wood. District 27 on May 15th. It's true. Integrity serving you. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
And we had a little background talking, but that's over with. Right now, we're going to go to the weather forecast quickly, and the weather brought to you by our friends at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they are located right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room. Two wonderful doctors that know all about hearing health. Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell, they can and they will help you. Make an appointment today for a hearing health evaluation. Call 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And right now, here's the weather.
Another beautiful day here in the valley. However, as we make our way towards the weekend, there is some precipitation that's going to be looming in the forecast. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny skies is what we're expecting today. High of 79. Winds out of the southwest, right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of 81. However, for tomorrow night, looks like some clouds are going to be moving in. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 52. Partly sunny for Thursday. Winds are going to be picking up as well out of the southwest, right around 10 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 24 miles an hour with a high of 70. Thursday night, slight chance of rain showers and thunder bumpers in the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies and a low of 43. That could stick around for Friday. Slight chance of showers, then a slight chance of thunderstorms by the afternoon, mostly cloudy, and a high of 61. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. And, of course, the weather brought to you this hour by some wonderful people that really, really can help you with your hearing health goals and any problems. And that's Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. I urge you to call, make an appointment. I did. They helped me. Number to call, 312-0957. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you.
Yeah, how are you today?
Good, sir.
Okay, now, I'm getting to this little deal on this little girl and her mom. If that mom would just sit there and think about it, the girl would have been so much further ahead if she would have just done like the last lady when she called and everything, saying, I'm behind you, but it's going to have to be you to apply the effort, because I'm telling you, there is nothing like the feeling of knowing when you've actually succeeded at getting something done and knowing that it was you that done it.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
You know, I am so sick of the attitude that everybody, like I said a moment ago, is a champion. Everybody gets a trophy. Baloney. You do certain things better than I, and I can do certain things better than you. We excel in our own certain areas. And when we stop trying, that's when we start failing. You try, and if that doesn't work, you try harder to succeed. And don't let somebody else pick you up and carry you across the finish line and expect the championship trophy. That's not how it works.
And, you know, with me and everything, I'm the youngest of 4 brothers. And so I learned early, really early in life, that that's just the way it is, just like you just said. You've got to get out and you've got to earn it.
I couldn't agree more. But, you know, our society today is a gimme, 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 I want society, and that's what's wrong with the kids. They're never going to succeed. They're never going to excel if you keep handing them things that say, oh, you're a champion, you did everything. No, they didn't. They didn't do a doggone thing.
Yep, exactly. I just thought I'd give you a quick little call.
I appreciate that, and I certainly hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
You betcha. I hope you do too, bud.
All right. Thank you much. Got time for some more calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call, please. I'd like to have you on the call here this morning. Hey, don't forget, Terry Kramer is running for re-election as Twin Falls County Commissioner. Twin Falls County, strong and prosperous, and he wants to help it grow and be more prosperous in the future. Don't forget, there are major issues for every county, and Terry Kramer has addressed these issues and wants to continue working where experience matters. Keep Twin Falls County strong, prosperous, and successful. On May 15th, vote Kramer for Commissioner. Terry Kramer, paid for by the committee to elect Terry Kramer, Treasurer Les Prater. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I even tear apart some of the fair ribbons that they give. Everybody gets a ribbon. Oh, baloney. Why? Why not just pick the best of the class out of that and give the winners their respective awards and their due just desserts? Why does everybody have to get a ribbon? Oh, I was last. I was the very one called up for a white ribbon, but I placed, and they're so I believe in trying harder to achieve and not resting on the laurels of mediocrity. Now, some people might not like that, but all my life I've had to try and try harder. And I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. If you think that, you're wrong. But you must try. You've got to use the talents that God gave you. And this attitude of, here, I want it handed to me. Here, I want this. Or here, Mom, go get the rules changed so I can be your cheerleader or something like that is ridiculous. You can succeed at anything you want if you try in America, still today. Maybe even more so today. But to have it handed to you, it just makes no sense to me whatsoever why we're having a society of gimme gimmes, I want, and then we give it to them. On what merit? On what basis? Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Our hearts go out to the people in Hawaii that are really suffering from that volcanic eruption with the lava. I understand it's destroyed many, many homes. Many more are in jeopardy, and I have friends that live over there, and we certainly want to wish them the best and God's blessings, and certainly hope that this very critical situation will stop and desist, and no more homes will be lost over in Hawaii. I think the last time, and again, I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, I think it was back in the 50s that they had such a serious volcanic eruption and lava flow, and it's very dangerous right there now today. So we wish them the best. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They are the best. That's not bragging, that's a fact. And they're telling you if you're going to take a road trip, they've got all the tires, all the different tread designs. They've got everything there for your safe driving. I urge you to stop in and check it out today. And by the way, if you're going to go on a road trip, stop in for a free pre-trip safety check. You know, they'll check your tires, air pressure, brake components, wheel alignment. They'll check the front end components, shocks and struts, batteries, etc. They really care about your safe road trip. Stop in and see any one of the 7 locations: Lane in Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike in Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. They are the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Here's the game plan for the rest of the morning. Coming up at 9:06, we've got Senator of District 24, Lee Hyder, coming on the program. Then at 9:30, Vicky's Country Garden. And at 10:06, Terry Kramer, incumbent for Twin Falls County Commissioner. And then at 10:30 this morning, excellent lady Regis Giles, talking about the past Boy Scouts. Going to be interesting. Right now, this word for Tommy Alquist, and then Wheels will take us up to CBS News. Oh, good morning and welcome back. Zeb at the Ranch on a Tuesday, May 8th already. Glad to have you with us. And, of course, we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you to get ready for a big road trip with the best of tires. And don't forget some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's have this good word, Wheels, if we could, for Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this free land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, don't forget to call the office number. They're always at your disposal. Get on the route service. Get rid of your garbage on a weekly service. Wave goodbye. They take care of it for you. Western Waste Services, the very, very best. Call them today, 734-6969. Always at your disposal and serving you. Western Waste Services. Right now, may we have this good word for Brad Little.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
Thank you very much, and don't forget Kent Searle wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, lifelong resident of Cassia County, has the experience of being a farmer and a dairyman, and a service to you as an EMT and first responder, and has gained your trust serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner, May 15th, Dan Gammon, Treasurer. And one other quick note before we run out of gas, don't forget Roger Morley wants to be reelected for Jerome County Commissioner, District 3. Roger Morley has always said, yes, we can when it comes to being pro-Jerome County. He understands local folks and local problems and wants to continue to work for Jerome County with a pro-jobs, pro-ag, pro-people attitude. Re-elect Roger Morley, District 3 Jerome County Commissioner on May 15th. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Roger Morley, Lorraine Morley, Treasurer. And with me in the studio right now, a man that I've got a lot of respect for. He is the senator for District 24, has been since 2010, if I remember correctly, and chairman of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee, Lee Hyder. Good morning, my friend.
How are you, Zeb? It's nice to be here with you today.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Of course, you didn't bring the Harley out here today.
No, but I wrote it yesterday, and I went to Boise on it.
Went to Boise. I bet it was beautiful riding up there yesterday.
It was great.
Oh, my. Well, now, tell me a little bit about your running for re-election, District 24 Senator. Why? Aren't you sick of all the sticks and the stones and everything?
Yeah, you'd think so, and my wife keeps saying, yes, Lee, this should be your last election session, and I have one more. I have this one in me. I don't know if I'll run again in 2 years, but I feel good about it now, and I think there's still a lot of work to do, and I'm still very fit and able to do it and think well, and so I think that I add a lot to the body.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Add a lot to the body. I mean, come on. A lot of people, they don't like to say anything good about themselves, and they're shy and bashful. I don't want you to be shy and bashful. I want you to tell me why you want to become senator again for District 24, and what are some of the accomplishments that you've had?
We passed, this year we had over 600 bills, Zeb. And can you imagine having to deal with 600 different issues
I can't.
In your life? And you have to think about that each day and each night. And you pray about it, you think about it, you talk about it with your wife, you decide, is this a good bill or a bad bill for the people of Idaho? And I have that ability, and I have a sweetheart that works with me, and we talk things out, and I listen to her quite often about, and she dissuades me on a few bills, and I change her mind on a few others. But you have to be able to think about all these different subjects, everything from trespassing and private property and guns and the Castle Doctrine and speed limits and truck weights and health and welfare issues and drugs, CBD oil. It comes at you like a freight train. And talk about, you have to be able to think and work through these things and read the bills and think about where you really think we ought to be as an
and that
Idaho.
takes a lot of experience too.
It does. It's your life's experience that you bring to the Senate.
Now, I would imagine, pardon my interruption, but on these bills that you're presented and you have to read and study before you can make an affirmative or a negative on the bill. Boy, a lot depends on the wording of those bills, and it might have some gray areas and everything. You really have to do your homework.
Certainly, Zeb. It really is, and you have to be the one that does it.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, we listen to them in committee. Yeah. We make decisions in committee as to whether or not we even bring them forth to the floor. A lot of bills are held in committee or stopped in committee. We vote no in committee because they just don't. We had about a 10-page bill on service animals, and it just got worse and worse and worse as you turn the page, and in committee we held it. Now, I didn't say that was the end of the bill. The sweet lady that brought it, I says, why don't we work on this during the interim and come up with a bill that's a couple pages long that works for you, works for us, and we'll try it again next year.
Absolutely.
So that's the way to make good legislation. It isn't just shutting the door. It isn't just telling somebody they're off their rocker, and you don't just push it because it's a bill.
Well, you talk about shutting the door, and that was some of the left or the alt-right or whomever saying that you violated the open meeting laws. What was that great big can of worms about?
Well, that was 3 minutes out of 3 months.
Oh, really? 3 whole minutes?
3 whole minutes. But what it was is I have two far-right people on my committee, and they try to trap me every day. One of them brought a bill early in the year that hadn't been scheduled for the 24 hours that's required, and I tried to shut him down, and he and all his people that were there got up and walked out of committee. And that was an embarrassing moment.
I can imagine.
And then the next one was, and the one where we stepped out, we had a bill, and an individual, and again a far-right person, tried to push it on us, and I said, I need a substitute motion.
Absolutely.
So I took my vice chair out into the hall, and I said, we need a substitute motion. We came back in, made a substitute motion. The substitute motion passed, and that ended that. But it wasn't a big deal, and it certainly wasn't a violation of any laws, other than we didn't allow the news media to go out the door with me.
Do you think, Lee, and this is kind of an overall, kind of an all-encompassing thing in politics today, that the media seems like they're ready with hatchets and knives anytime they get the opportunity?
They do try to box you into a corner.
Yeah.
They're wonderful people. I appreciate reading Betsy's blog every day that I get to read it, because it kind of brings into our focus what the public is thinking about. And that's important because those are the people we do represent. So I don't have a problem with the news media being in our committees or visiting with us or doing stories about the bills that we're presenting. As long as they treat us fairly. That's the bottom line for
In the last session, what were the things or the items or the bills that you were the most proud of to try to sponsor and pass through?
Well, we tried to pass to do a waiver insurance bills.
Right.
That would have been important to the people of Idaho. And
give us a little.
Unfortunately, there were two. One was from the Department of Insurance,
right,
and the other one was from Health and Human Services. We wanted to be able to provide health care and have insurance pay for that. We just couldn't quite get there. The Department of Insurance, Dean Cameron was working with us. The insurance companies, the 6 big companies in Idaho were working with us. We had Health and Welfare in the House is where the bill was originating. They couldn't get it off the floor. They brought it out. It looked like it was going to fail. They took it back into committee. It came out later in the session. Once again, they just couldn't get the votes to get it out. As the Senate, we never heard the bill.
Mm-hmm.
So we never had a chance to vote for or against the bill. But what we were trying to do was make insurance more affordable and more available for the people of Idaho. We've got a tremendous problem with doctors in rural Idaho. We need more doctors. We are going to have an osteopathic medical school in Boise.
Yeah.
And we're going to produce doctors in Boise, Idaho, that can go into all these rural areas to get their residency, and then hopefully we'll keep them in Idaho, and we'll be providing better medical care for all of Idaho.
Lee, I don't want to sound simplistic, but when you talk about health care and government intervention in health care dating back to 2008 with the Obama administration, etc., are there answers cut and dried to make health care better, or is it a complete chaotic mess?
It really is a mess. We have great doctors here, but look at the price. Look at the cost of medical care. If you go to the hospital, and I don't care which hospital, I'm not picking on St. Luke's or St. Al's or Portneuf or any of the hospitals. I know that they all work on a profit basis, but the cost of walking through that door is atrocious. Sterling Medical may come into more presence in Idaho, where as a business you can sign up all your employees with Sterling Medical and get your physicals and your basic care.
But as a state senator, though, are there answers to curb these costs and keep things within the regulatory means of someone's pocketbook?
There is, and we have been working. I remember the night that the head of the Department of Health and Welfare and Tammy Perkins from the governor's office and I and Fred, we sat down and we were on a phone call with HHS in Washington, D.C., and they were talking to the people in Guam and Idaho and Utah and Arizona, and they were telling us, we're willing to work with you to come up with alternative means of providing medical care. We're not dyed in the wool. We're not hard and fast here in Washington. And that was at the beginning of this Trump administration 2 years ago. They wanted to help us to find ways to provide better services. This was our response to that. We had a dual waiver proposal to cut costs and try to reduce costs for providing medical care.
One word that keeps coming up in healthcare, and I'm going to throw that one word at you that I think would be a major settling point in healthcare costs, and that is competition. Am I wrong?
Well, when you talk about competition, are you talking about doctors competing against doctors, or are you talking about insurance companies competing against insurance companies? Yeah, but that's what we have now. Yeah. We really do have a lot of provider insurance companies, but unfortunately they pretty much all have the same modus operandi, if you will. They provide coverage, and the cost of medicine is very high. They still work on a profit basis, so they've got to pay the bills, and so insurance rates are high to cover everybody's hospital.
My fear in healthcare is, Lee, and you and I are of the same age bracket, is that sooner, unfortunately than later, we're going to see a shortage of doctors, we're going to see a shortage of research medicine, we're going to see a shortage of everything if we don't get this mess cleaned up.
Well, except that we are, that's what I say, we're trying to provide a new medical center in Idaho instead of sending our kids to WWAMI in Washington or down to the University of Utah. We want to have a medical center in Idaho and turn out 100 doctors a year that hopefully stay here in the Idaho area or close by, Wyoming, Montana, but we would like to have more doctors, and we're moving in that direction as we speak. And so, Zeb, we are looking 10 years down the road.
Good.
But we're looking 4 or 5 years down the road till this first class gets out of.
And we've got some excellent students here in this state.
Wonderful students, and they want good jobs, and they want to become doctors, and they want to live in rural Idaho, and they want to hunt and fish, and ski and do all the things that we do in Idaho. That's why they live here.
Absolutely.
And that's who they are. So they'll make great doctors, but we've got to get them through school, and we've got to get them out into their residencies and keep them in Idaho.
Give me 60 seconds. 60 seconds. I'll be right back with more with Senator Lee Hyder. Don't forget Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Joel Heward, the manager, and the number to call, 436-5636. Always treating you and your family with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. When there's the passing of a loved one, please remember they are there to help and serve you. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert with Joel Heward, 436-5636, and also Joel Heward serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Real quick, also, we want to remind you about Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. A mixed animal practice, meaning big or small. They love them all. Take care of all your animals. And don't forget to have the proper identification for all your pets. Talk to Ark Animal Hospital about that today. Call them, 678-1177. At Ark Animal Hospital, they have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Lee Hyder, you didn't say what I was hoping you would brag about a little bit. You were picked as Legislator of the Year for last year, or this year, pardon me. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's hard to talk about that. You don't say, oh, guess what I am? I'm the Legislator of the Year. Well, that's not what the...
Don't you have the sign painted on your motorcycle?
No, but I do have a little plaque on my wall,
Okay.
And that's very nice, and I appreciate that. But I'm no different than all the other legislators. I don't really like to be singled out as being a good, or I wouldn't like to be singled out as a bad legislator. But it's encouraging to be.
What was the criteria to be picked for that?
I don't know that they have criteria. I think they liked what I did with the CBD bill.
Okay, explain that quickly if you would.
Okay, well, let me just tell you. 2 years ago, we wanted a legislator wanted to bring CBD oil.
Right.
I said, and when I started speaking right after his bill, I said, I want you to remember the feelings you have for helping children in Idaho. There is a doctor, Dr. Wexler at St. Luke's, that's going to do a clinical trial on Epidiolex, which is CBD oil, but it's produced in a lab in London, England. It's delivered by a doctor by prescription, and it may be exactly the same thing, except that it's produced in a lab and it's prescribed by a doctor. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between what I think a bill should be and what we had this year.
I see.
And that's why I held the bill. And as it turns out, Epidiolex, just within the last 2 weeks, has been approved by the FDA for use in children in all of America. And so I think we made exactly the right decision.
You were justified.
Yeah, very much justified. And the governor felt the same way 2 years ago. He vetoed the bill that the other senator brought. He approved the bill on Epidiolex. And they really were accomplishing the same thing. So the governor understood the process. I understand the process. It was not an easy thing to hold a bill like that so many in the House wanted to have. But I think the decision was the right one, and it's now come out that Epidiolex is available for children with epilepsy through a doctor's prescription and with the care of a doctor. So that's the right way to do things.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference between Epidiolex and CBD oil.
Lee, let me ask you this. Now, we're seeing some transitions in the state. We've got problems coming into the state. You know that. I mean, we've got water issues. We've got economic issues, growth problems. We've got all kinds of things. Plus, we're going to be looking at a new governor taking over the reins in the fall. How does all this play into your possible reelection as a state senator? What are some of the goals and taking care of some of the problems? What are your goals and aspirations?
I think if you look at what we have done, last year we spent a lot of time on water, and we, Representative Bedke and Steve Baer in the Senate, all of us that were on resources, Burt Brackett, myself, we all worked on water issues last year and the recharge issues, and we did a tremendous job.
Yes.
If I say so myself, I think Idaho is in better shape water-wise than we have ever been, and so. We take those challenges and try to find solutions. We've brought the oil and gas industry into Idaho. That wasn't without a lot of headache and a lot of pain and a lot of complaints and a lot of ifs, ands, and, but we made regulations and rules with the Department of Lands that helped it to work. And so our job is really to be facilitators. We want progress in Idaho, but we want it to be organized. We want it to be for the benefit of all Idahoans. Forest fires are an example. We as a state could manage the forests, even if they are owned by the federal government. We don't care about the ownership. We care that they're managed properly, that the undergrowth is cut out, that they're logged properly, and then if we do have a fire, it's a much smaller fire.
Bingo.
And we're able to contain it.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of great ideas, but they're Idaho ideas. They're Idaho specific. And we want those things to be the things that we judge Idaho by. We welcome people, too. We know the growth is here. We see it every day in Twin Falls, driving down Blue Lakes. You can't, where there used to be 10 cars, now there are 100. And so
you better inflate that number quite a bit more.
And maybe it'll be 1,000 before we're even through talking.
Right.
But so, because people come to Idaho and recognize what a great place it is to live, and we do. We have good laws. We have good law enforcement. We have good leaders. We have good government. We are a wonderful place to
You're
live.
really optimistic, man, and I like that.
I love Idaho. I was born here, raised here, and I will die here.
I got to tell you, Lee, time goes too fast with you on this program. I wish we had more time, but I'd like you to give me a summation for about 1 minute as to why everybody should re-elect you, Lee Hyder, as Senator of District 24.
Okay, thank you, Zeb. I appreciate that. I think that over the last 8 years, I have done a tremendous job in the legislature. I became a committee chair in my second session, which is, my peers are still not committee chairs, but be that as it may, I think I exhibit leadership. I enjoy it. I work hard for the people of Idaho. I am truly a middle-of-the-road conservative. I think the far right is harmful. I think the far left is harmful. I want Idaho to be a good Republican state, and so I think I bring those qualities to the office, and I would appreciate people voting for me next week and keeping me there for another couple of years, and we'll see how things go.
Lee Hyder, I have a lot of respect for you. Senator, District 24, Lee Hyder, running for re-election on May 15th. And thank you for taking the time to come out here on the program.
It's my pleasure, Zeb, and thank you for having me.
And if I hear something go by that sounds like boom, 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 I'll think of you on the Harley, okay?
That'll be great.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lee Hyder, District 24, running for re-election. Right now, let's have this good word for Bob Nominee.
Bob Nominee, candidate for Lieutenant Governor, a principled conservative, successful small business owner, legislator, and leader in Idaho. Bob Nominee has earned a 100% rating from the American Conservative Union and received an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association. Bob Nominee, Idaho roots, conservative values, proven results.
Hi, I'm Bob Nominee, and I'm passionate about becoming your next Lieutenant Governor. Being an Idaho native, I grew up understanding the values of hard work and dedication. Overzealous federal regulations have driven natural resource-based industries out of Idaho. As Lieutenant Governor, I will advocate for legislation allowing these industries to responsibly operate, providing jobs and continued economic growth. Idaho needs strong leaders who allow their faith, experience, and integrity to do what is necessary in creating a better life for our residents. Experience matters. Experience counts. The choice is clear. Idaho needs Nonini on May 15th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Bob Nonini for Lieutenant Governor. R. Scott Hogue, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. Don't forget, vote for Wayne Shank, Minidoka County Commissioner on District 1. And that's, of course, May 15th. Wayne has extensive agricultural and business savvy and has been involved with Minidoka Highway District, planning and zoning, and the Minidoka school system. There is a great opportunity in Minidoka County for future planned growth, and Wayne Shank wants to help. Vote May 15th for Wayne Shank, Minidoka County Commissioner, District 1, Leadership and Vision. Paid for by the committee to elect Wayne Shank, Stephanie Merrigan, Treasurer. And we also want to remind you about our friend Clark Kaufman. Representative Clark Kaufman, a Filer area farmer and small businessman, is running for re-election for the state representative seat, District 25, Seat B. Representative Kaufman's legislative committee experience include the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Resources and Conservation Committee. Remember to re-elect Clark Kaufman to the seat, District 25, Seat B, Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Thank you very much. And before we go any further, too, I also want to remind you, our dear friend, Representative Fred Wood, running for re-election for District 27 on May 15th. Integrity matters, and service matters, and that's exactly what you've had in the past and will have in the future by re-electing Fred Wood, District 27 Representative. It's true integrity serving you. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer. Right now, we're going to get on the phone line and running just a little bit behind, but I'll tell you what, this lady is very cordial, and I hope she understands my situation in the middle of politics season. Good morning, the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden. How are you?
I'm just fine, Zeb, and yes, I do understand busy mornings. I have a real understanding of all of that. That's kind of how my life runs.
You know, I feel like, you ever go to the circus and see those guys get on motorcycles inside those great big steel revolving balls? That's how I feel this morning.
I feel that way about every day. By about 11 o'clock, I said, I know just how those little rats feel on them little treadmills, them little wheels that are going around. You don't get nowhere, you just keep running faster.
Yeah, you know, it's a great time of the year, and we're going to be selecting some outstanding people. But, Vicki, you've been in celebrating business for over 21 years. My, that's quite an achievement.
Well, yeah, it is. I'm really glad to still be here, actually. It is, our business is growing every year. We get a little bit bigger every year, get more customers in, and it's just, you gotta love it, because if not, you're not in the job you need to be in, that's for sure. So, but yeah, we are here, been here 21 years and growing and expanding every year, and hopefully learning more and more every year.
Well, let me ask you this, Vicki. We've got a lot of things coming up. I mean, we've had kind of a weird growing season already this spring. Nice one day and then snow the next and then melt the next day and then 90-mile-an-hour winds the day after that. What about the status of our gardens and everything right now? What's going on?
Well, I really think we're in good shape as far as the gardens go, because, and I would suggest to everyone to kind of get their gardens in and get them going right now during this, while we have the nicer 70s and low 80s weather, because if you plant when it hits up on that 90 degrees, the plants struggle just as hard in that hot weather as they do in the cold weather. So this is a nice time frame for them to get in, get their roots established, and kind of get situated and ready for the heat. Then when the heat does hit, they've got their root base going, and they're used to the heat by that time. Ground temperatures are coming up to where pretty much everything can be planted. Corn it's right. I mean, you're ready to go on corn right now. Beans, yeah. Well, they could go in. By the time they come up, we should be good and clear of frost. I mean, we all know there's always a chance of frost. We all have been here long enough to know that those things do happen, but the long-range forecast is for very, very good nighttime temperatures.
Okay. Well, now talking about temperatures and sunshine, oh my goodness, look at the calendar. Sunday's Mother's Day. What's cooking over there at Vicky's Country Garden?
Well, we're really busy, but we have got we still got baskets. They're going fast, but we do still have some nice baskets for Mom for Mother's Day. Spent some time last night planting up some really, really cute planters for gifts for Grandma and for Mom and whatever. Cute little patio planters and things of that nature. We've got herb planters. We've got about everything you can imagine. And don't forget, gift certificates is always a good way to go. If you're not sure, I have a lot of the wives that come in and say, when my husband comes in, just tell him to get me a gift certificate. Then I pick what I want.
Ah, there you go.
The only problem is sometimes I don't know their husband.
No, you don't want to say the wrong thing to the wrong person.
Exactly, so you're got but yeah, gift certificates work great. Even the grandmothers and that love them because they'll come in with a gift certificate and they'll buy something with that they would not even think about buying with their own money.
Vicki, I get this question every single year since you've been doing this program, and Wheels over at the station, if you could give me a little bit more volume in my headset, I'd appreciate it. But every year I get the same question. How deep should I plow my garden? And I know you've always given answers to that, but really, how deep in soil depth does a person really need to plow?
Well, to be honest, the deeper the better, because when you roll that dirt deep, you just keep, you keep the soil activating. And that's why, not everybody can get into their gardens with a good, a 2 or a 4 bottom plow to really drop it in there 14, 16 inches. But till it as deep as you can with a rototiller. Get down there, you want to go, if you can, 8 to 10 inches at least, and keep that soil turning over. At the same time you're tilling it, it's always a good thing to have your compost in place, your fertilizers, that type of thing, and just roll them into mix that right up in your soils. Helps with the planting, with your plants growing better because it's mixed more evenly if you till it in rather than trying to just put it on top and spade it in. Sometimes you get piles of fertilizer instead of a nice blend like you do with a rototiller or something to that effect.
Well, let me ask you this then. I'm assuming then that, and you're the expert, but if you're tilling the same depth, let's say 4 to 5 inches with a rototiller every year, you're using the same soil and the same nutrients, and it doesn't after a while start to wear out, and you have to almost re-dig deeper, don't you?
Well, you do, and you just have to keep. If you're not able to get in with a deep tiller, with something that's going to get down there on that 14, 16-inch situation, you're going to have to keep applying the good stuff, the composts and the things like that to that top section to keep it new and keep it, keep all your natural organisms working and that type of thing. And in your garden, rotate your garden around. Don't plant the corn in the same place every year, or don't plant the spuds in the same place. Rotate around because that way that puts them all in new soil, for different things that they're requiring, and they'll just do better. You just, if you keep planting everything in the same spot, pretty soon that spot's going to get to where it's not going to produce for that crop. So take them out of there at least every other year, and put different things in there, like put radishes in where the corn was, or spuds in where the corn was, and things of that. But just remember, look up and see. Corn and potatoes and that. They require a lot of fertilizers, so make sure if you've had corn in on one side of your garden and you're planting something else in there, make sure you boost your nitrogen levels a little because corn takes a lot of nitrogen out of the ground.
Okay. Now, another caller called in, and this kind of falls right in lockstep with what I was going to ask you about, but they said they want to clear some areas on their lawn to make kind of a decorative area, maybe covered in bark, and they said, what kind of weed killer or grass killer should we use to go underneath the bark and not have all the grass and the weeds poking through? What's the answer to that?
Well, starters, you want to kill that grass. If you're going to be taking lawn grass out, step it off, mark it off, and hit it with Roundup and get it good and dead. Because grass will come right back up through bark. It comes up through a little bit of weed mat, that type of thing. So you want to kill that grass first thing. And I recommend then after it's killed, coming in with go rent a sod cutter and cut that sod out so you've got a nice level spot to put your weed mat down, and then put your bark and use it as a patio or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is to kill that grass so that you're not fighting with it. Then you can put down your chemicals with the gallery, the broadleaf weed killers, those kind of granules down underneath your weed mat that will stop any seeds in that from germinating. But the weed mat will stop most of that also.
Now, you have, I know, a brand new shipment of bark coming in or is in, and you've got all the rock and everything. If people aren't sure how to decorate the outside exterior of their home, I mean, do you take pictures and help them, or what's the scenario here?
Yeah, if they want to take pictures, if they want to bring me in some pictures of their yard, the area that they're wanting to landscape or whatever, I can take a look at them and kind of give them some ideas. But we did get our bark bins are all filled up with new fresh bark. We just got in a load of the Montana colored river rock. So we're all set for all of that. We've got the 3 different kinds of rock and the 3 different sizes of bark, and we've got soil aid to put in if you're trying to kind of enhance the soil a little bit. If you've got heavy soil, put some soil aid in and open it up and that type of thing. So we've got compost. We've got it all right now that we can help with gardens, flower beds, yards, whatever.
Okay. And another question that was in here, it came in on last Friday for me to ask you, and they said, holy smokes, we're already in the first week of May. Is it too late to even think about planting a garden?
Oh, it's prime time right now. This is absolute perfect time to put a garden in. Everything will just do so much better. Like we've said, the ground temperatures are up there, the night temperatures are up there, the plants are going to just set right in and go to growing. I mean, no, it is not too late for potatoes. It's not too late for anything in the garden right now. It's a perfect time to get out and get it done.
Well, now I'm going to put you on the spot like I do every week. How about one of your world-famous Vicky's country gardening tips?
Well, I guess my tip for this week is don't wait to come in and pick out Mother's Day gifts until that Saturday or that Sunday, because things are moving fast. So if you're wanting a Mother's Day gift, a special one, get in, get your name on it, get it done this week, because I can't guarantee everything's going to still be here by Saturday. So come in and see us early, and we've got everything you need to take care of Mom and Grandma and whoever else we're doing.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the hours, because what do? Start at 3 in the morning and go till 11 o'clock at night? What's the deal?
Well, our hours here we open at 9 and we're open until 6. Sometimes we run a little later than that. I was here at 11:30 last night planting, but that's my hours. The store hours are 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and now we're open on Sunday from 11 to 3.
Well, I want to tell you, you are such an asset to have on this program and answer all the questions. But, one thing for Mother's Day, it's a big, big deal. All of us that are still fortunate to have our mothers, I'm very sad my mother's passed away, but you've got a lot of great ideas for Mom, don't you?
Oh, we do. We've got all kinds of yard art, that type of thing that doesn't require a lot of care because it's metal yard art that just really adds color and some fun, a fun look in the yard. We've got all the different petunias. We've got hanging baskets. We've got all the bedding plants that they need to make a yard just really bounce out and show some color and so that they can sit and enjoy it off the patio and that. Then it's a matter of sitting back and enjoying it.
Well, I want to say thank you very much. A lovely lady, one of my dear friends. Oh, we got a quick question, and I've only got a minute left. Call her real fast. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning.
A few years back, a good friend of mine, her name is Deanne Bell, gave me some hens and chicks, and I put it in a circle around a tree, about an 8-foot circle. There is thousands of them in there now.
Yes.
If I could thin them out and bring them to you, would that be appropriate? How should I get rid of them?
You want to get rid of them completely or just thin them? Because you can just take the starts off of them and put them in a rock garden or anything. They'll grow pretty much anywhere. So, I mean, it's a matter of just going in and just cutting the starts out of them and thinning them that way. But, yeah, people are using those all the time.
Well,
are you interested in them if I could just bring them to you? Or
if you want to bring some in, I'm sure we can find something to do with them.
All righty. Okay. Keith, God bless you. I appreciate that call. Thank you very much. Yeah, and the lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. The number to call, 438-5663. I always look forward to learning from her. Celebrating 21 years in business, Vicky's Country Garden. God bless you, my dear, and we'll talk to you next week.
All righty, thanks, Zeb, and everybody have a good week. It's going to be a nice one weather-wise.
All right, Vicky, thank you so much.
You bet. We'll see ya.
A wonderful lady right there, Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden. Thank you. Hey, don't forget Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland and Burley with Jeff and the whole crew. They have got everything for you. I mean, everything. They've got a newly expanded sleep center. I mean, they've got all the different mattresses and the bedroom sets. They've got everything. You stop in and see them today. Better sleep, better living, I'm telling you. And all your carpet and your floor covering. And then we always brag about their wonderful furniture. I mean, all the sofas and the love seats and the recliners, all there for you. And you got to get in and try one of those recliners on. You'll love it at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. 459 Overland and Burley. You stop in and see them today. Really good folks. By the way, Ben Crouch wants your vote to become Jerome County District 1 County Commissioner. Ben Crouch says it's time for a fresh approach in Jerome County leadership, and he's the man for the job. Ben has the business knowledge and the ability to solve problems, and his decisive leadership will help Jerome County. Vote for Ben Crouch, Jerome County Commissioner, District 1 on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Ben Crouch, Treasurer. Oh, my goodness sakes, we got time right now for a couple of calls. Give me a jingle at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to remind you, too, about Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. When you think about life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, or employee benefits, all of this and more with the professionals serving you, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24, Rupert, the number 436-4424. They are always accessible and devoted to serving you at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24, Rupert. Right now, this good word for Fred Wood, and we'll have the weather.
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on money and politics.
Zeb, 85% of Idaho citizens believe we should have more financial transparency and disclosure in our political system. As chairman of the Interim Committee on Campaign Finance Reform, I will continue to work tirelessly to bring real transparency and disclosure to money and politics in Idaho.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. And right now, we also want to mention that we're going to have our weather forecast coming up next by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company. They've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. Tax return preparation, tax planning, financial statement preparation, retirement planning, all of this and so much more by the professionals serving you. And they want to thank all their customers for a great tax season. They really appreciate your business. At Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane and Company with offices in Burley and Rupert. Right now, here's the weather.
Another beautiful day here in the valley. However, as we make our way towards the weekend, there is some precipitation that's going to be looming in the forecast. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny skies is what we're expecting today. High of 79. Winds out of the southwest, about around 5 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of 81. However, for tomorrow night, looks like some clouds are going to be moving in. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 52. Partly sunny for Thursday. Winds are going to be picking up as well out of southwest, right around 10 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 24 miles an hour with a high of 70. Thursday night, slight chance of rain showers and thunder bumpers in the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies and a low of 43. That could stick around for Friday. Slight chance of showers, then a slight chance of thunderstorms by the afternoon, mostly cloudy, then a high of 61. That's your weather forecast for Zebedee.
And thank you, Gina. I appreciate that. Sounds like a really pretty good forecast going all the way through the weekend. And the weather brought to you this hour by our friends at Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. They've been helping us. They will help you. And they can help people starting a business, a partnership, or a corporation, or business owners wanting to expand. Please, your questions they welcome. Call them and see them today. Offices in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. I want to acknowledge that a dear friend of mine, Ray Bagby, is going to have Pioneer Village Days. It's going to be this coming weekend on Friday and Saturday, 11th and 12th. And this is really quite an event. Ray Bagby is going to be on our program tomorrow. We're going to be talking about, he just finished one of the greatest buildings of a stagecoach, a Concord stage, and we're going to be talking about that. He's got all kinds of wagons out there. They've got a little miniature Western City, blacksmith shop, and they're going to show the buggies and the wagons and that new stagecoach, and this is going to be free to the public. It's going to be on Friday with the Kids for Special Needs. They're going to really cater to helping those kids and learn more about some of our Pioneer Village history. And then on Saturday, all the folks are welcome from 9 to 3. They're even going to have a Dutch oven cook-off, and they're going to have a nominal fee for the food. They're going to show spinning wool and rope making, all kinds of fun at the Pioneer Village Days, and that's going to be at 930 East, 153 South of Declo. And if you have questions, you can call my dear friend Ray Bagby at 208-312-7643, and that's coming up this weekend. And it will be a lot of fun. You can bet on that. Give me a holler, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And want to remind you, too, about our friends at Let's Ride. Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. They're located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. They've got all the four-wheelers, and if you think that's brag, it's not. It's a fact. They've got a showroom full of them and the side-by-sides and everything else connected to getting outside and going to have fun. Stop over with all the accessories that are there in the accessory department, and to keep you running, they've got the best doggone service department around. Don't forget, located at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, it's Let's Ride, and it's true, this is where the fun is sold. You stop in and see those good folks today. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear from you in this remaining time in this hour. And the decision will be made today at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe, by President Trump, as to whether or not we are going to stay in a very phony, fraudulent, and not safe and secure Iranian nuclear deal. I believe this administration is going to say no. I believe this administration is going to demand an accounting for what's been done and not been done, and what needs to be done with the perhaps new treaty. And I think it's high time. So we're going to see all the crying tears by Senator John Kerry, former Secretary of State, as he tries to belittle and demean the Trump administration on what they're trying to do. But we will see after 2 p.m. this afternoon as to whether or not this Trump administration will or will not keep that absolutely phony agreement with the Iranians. I want to remind you that our friends over at Mad River Laser on the historic Rupert Square, my goodness, they're going to have a special event. It's coming up on this weekend, Friday and Saturday, and they're going to have a Meet the Artist activity going on over there in the store. Mad River Laser is going to watch the artist, with the personalization artist named Charlene, customize all your gifts, especially for Mother's Day this week. weekend. What a great time to stop in. And don't forget 10% off your gift shop purchases, so you be sure and stop in. They're right next door to the Idaho Youth Ranch at 502 East Street in Rupert, right on the square. Mad River Laser, wonderful people. Meet the artist this Friday and Saturday at Mad River Laser. You stop in and see them today, okay? One other quick note. Let's see. I'm going to have next hour, we're going to have incumbent Twin Falls County Commissioner Terry Kramer on the phone, or here in the studio, I should say, with us. Excuse me. And then at 10:30, we're going to have Regis Giles. Don't forget that. We're going to be talking about the demise of the Boy Scouts. Caller, quickly. I've got a minute left. Go ahead.
Good morning. On this Iranian deal, if the president makes a decision today, what effect do you think it will be on the North Korean situation? Is it a good idea, or what's your thoughts?
No, I think it's an excellent idea. Anytime that you show that you're backing up and that you're caving, it shows weakness. And I think right now at this time in our political lives, especially with the Trump administration, they need to show that they are in control and are going to stay in control, and that absolutely we're not going to be run over by any foreign regime, especially the Iranians. And I think it'll make someone like North Korea and Kim Jong-un realize, hey, you're playing with the big boys now. You better stand up and pay attention.
Sounds good.
All right, my friend. Thank you for your call. God bless. Thank you. Right now, let's have this word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels will take us up to CBS News. Oh, welcome back. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch on a Tuesday, May 8th, and welcome aboard. And, of course, our major sponsor, all of the 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they're celebrating a great big get ready for a road trip. They've got all the best in tires for you to take off and visit Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred and have a good driving summer. Don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We're going to be back with our guest in just a moment, but right now this good word for Brad Little.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little. A rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for Governor. Vicki Risch, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. Don't forget Scott Bedke, our dear friend, State Representative and Speaker of the House. District 27, Seat A, urges you to go vote in the primaries next Tuesday, May 15th. He urges you to exercise your patriotic duty and go vote. Don't forget to take your picture ID when you go to vote. Paid for by Representative Scott Bedke, Speaker of the House of Oakley, District 27, Seat A, Sarah Bedke, Treasurer. And we also want to remind you about Carl Hansen. He wants your vote May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO for 29 years, 18 of which were at Minidoka Hospital. He's an organizer and communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by the Carl Hansen for Minidoka County Commissioner Committee, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. Well, we have another guest in the studio right now, and I'm going to turn the microphone up and say hello to a man that I've known him for a long time, and he's probably known me, but we've never really sat and visited. A farmer from over in the Buell, Castle, Florida area, and he is the incumbent for the Twin Falls County Commission post. Terry Kramer, good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm doing well, Zeb. Thanks for having me.
It's nice to have you out here in the studio. You're out here with the poor people this morning.
Well, this is kind of the other end of the county. So we've got Jack Johnson that kind of represents you guys in the Murtaugh country, and I'm from Castleford. So Jack and I have a lot in common when it comes to the people that we represent. We're the far end of the rural county.
You know, when you represent as a county commissioner in this huge, and it is huge, Twin Falls County, what are some of the things in the past 10 years, 11 years that you're the most proud of as far as being a county commissioner?
Well, what we've done is this has been a great transition time the last 10 years. And so we've looked at the future of what we need to actually make this county strong and viable for the next 50 years.
Right.
And so we had the opportunity to use the old hospital and create a wonderful facility that gives us growth opportunities for 50 years. So we have a nice centralized location. We then have been able to improve. We have one of the better parks departments and noxious weed departments in the entire state of Idaho. We were able to expand that into a 26-acre facility that the old highway district had, and so that gives them growth. So my vision has been, let's create the infrastructure that we need to service this county for the next 50 years. And so now we're moving toward the jail and the courthouse to look at what we're going to need for the next 40 or 50 years there.
Terry, I mean, people don't probably realize that when you take on the job of being a county commissioner, how many things have to be thrown at the wall and hopefully stick. I mean, how do you pick and choose the items of the most importance?
I think that you have to have vision. So you have to think, what is it that this county is going to need for the upcoming generations? We need the recreational opportunities. We need the educational opportunities. We need to keep our young people here. And so a lot of the things that make this county strong is our recreational opportunities that we have with trails and water features like the river. The other thing we have is we have a strong agricultural base, and we've been really blessed to have value-added agriculture with our dairy industry. So we're one of the larger cheese-producing areas, not necessarily in Twin Falls County proper, but the valley operates as a big unit, for that dairy industry. And so that has created a value-added opportunity to sustain our agricultural heritage in the lands that we have. And so that's a balancing act between the growth and that agricultural heritage.
Well, right there, the growth. I mean, we are becoming the most looked at state in the United States for people to want to move into and take up residency. So you've got the people coming in and maybe wanting to build a house on an acre, or you've got those that want to maybe have a little 3 or 5 acre horse operation. Then you have the farms. Then you have other growth. How in the world do you manage all that as a county commissioner to make sure you try to keep everybody happy?
Well, that's a challenge, and we have been, we're going to be looking at a comprehensive plan update because it has changed so rapidly. So 10 years ago, we had a comprehensive plan made, but now it's time to look at that again. What I will tell you is we have not seen any new subdivision development outside in the agricultural zones in the last 8 or 10 years. So the 2008 situation, when the economy kind of slumped,
right.
We didn't necessarily slump, but our development of outside residential slowed way down, and we have not seen anything that outside of that area. But what we're seeing, the people that are moving here want to live kind of in the impact areas and really in the cities. They want the amenities of the cities, but they want the recreational opportunity of the country.
Right.
It's a great balance. So we're seeing filling in and tremendous growth within our impact areas of the cities and within the existing subdivisions that are there. Now, in the future, maybe 10 years from now, they're going to be filled up. so then that's going to be an issue.
Let me ask you this question. When you look at the opportunities that are here and the opportunities that are wanting to come in here, I mean, there has to be some kind of a discernment as to how are we going to grow, how are we going to keep our cities without over-expanding into ag land that we need for crop production, and how are your situations in Twin Falls County different than maybe your neighbors, Cassia County, Minidoka County, Jerome County, or do they all share in the same hopes and aspirations?
I think that we've become more of a hub.
Really?
So we have a lot of the amenities here with the college and with the large medical center. We have a lot of the amenities. So we're more of a hub. We're getting a larger concentration. What we also have, though, is we have land that is part of the impact area and the growth. So it was, and it still could be, good agricultural land, but that decision was made 10 or 15 years ago to change that land into residential. So we're going to see that filling in from the pole line road to the canyon. That land right there is not going to remain in agriculture. It's too valuable, and it's easily serviced in that area. I think that we're going to resist, as a county commissioner and as county commissioners and also as communities, that spreading out into that ag land that is not already been developed. A lot of these divisions are still being developed that were split off in the 70s.
Does it surprise you, for the years that you've been a farmer here and also a county commissioner, that the growth of like Twin Falls City proper, it seemed like all of a sudden, bang, it pushed up against the canyon rim? I would have thought that it would have gone south, out towards the airport and other areas, and it seems like everything just kind of hit the canyon rim and exploded east and west. Does that surprise you?
That doesn't surprise me. The reason that it does that it has grown there is it's twofold. One is that's the access point. We're like a hypodermic needle, and we push all of the transportation to that Pine Bridge, and then we shoot it across. That also creates the ability to get to the freeway. So the freeway is a really critical thing in transportation, moving commodities back and forth, and so and moving people back and forth. So that's where it fills in. It also is really easy to access with the services. The sewer and water are right there off of that rim at the Pine Bridge, and so that's where the services are available.
With that funnel point being the Pine Bridge, is that going to be enough in the future, or are we going to have to look at another access point to the north side?
We have really worked hard over the last 20 years to try to push a crossing there just straight off of 93 instead of going and turning onto pole line, going straight across. And we've worked very hard to do that, but I don't see that in the next 20 years.
As a county commissioner, and you want to be re-elected to that position, what are some of the growth problems or goals that you want to accomplish in your next tenure as a county commissioner?
Well, we've already got the ball rolling in the areas that need to be worked on. As I stated before, comprehensive plan is critical again. Land use plan. We have to sit down, create those impact areas for cities. We have to create the plan that we're going to have and the vision that we have for land use. The second one is our judicial system. The area that we have not worked on is the courts and the jail facility. And as we get a larger population and as we get different changes in state laws, we are seeing a massive increase in our jail population. And so those are the two issues. We already have committees started working on the jail, and we are looking for an RFP, which is, a proposal by a facilitator for the comprehensive plan.
Now, the jail situation, would it be comparable or larger than what took place in Jerome County?
So currently we have 220 beds, which is larger than Jerome County's. We will have to double that or maybe more to reach the next 30 years. We try to do this in 20 to 30 year blocks. So here's the question we're going to ask the people. Do you want that facility as an extension of the one we have currently, or do we want to move that facility to a new location? So if you move it, you have to build the additional 220 beds that you already have, plus then another 220 beds. So we're looking at 400 to 500 for a 30-year growth pattern.
So you're talking about a area, Twin Falls and the surrounding area, that the sky's the limit. I mean, as a county commissioner, you got to sit back and go, holy buckets, how are we ever going to plan for all this growth? Really, that's where you're at right now today, aren't you?
We certainly are, and we have to balance that growth with the economic base, which is the agricultural base.
Yeah, let me ask you a question there. I mean, agriculture, it seems like it's being encroached upon. I'm going to use my own personal opinion on this, and pushed further and further away from the commodity points. And that's got to be a hard thing to bear, too. I mean, you've got to cater to agriculture, make it amenable and accessible for them, but then also help the expansion of your rural areas as far as homes and families. How do you do that? That's got to be really a tough job.
Well, one of the blessings that I think we have is that we have the value added agriculture. So the secret to our success locally is to figure out how to do this to where we are putting that milk into that cheese factory or that yogurt factory or that butter factory or something. Put that commodity into a business that's here, and that way you're not really driving it out. So maybe you're 20 miles away from the factory, and that's wonderful. It's much better for us to do that than to put it on a railroad car and ship it all the way to Portland and try to market in a world market.
Absolutely.
We can't compete in a world market. We need to compete in a local market if we can do that. So anything we can do helps.
I don't think there's anybody more qualified than you are as a farmer, a lifetime farmer, to know about water. And I was surprised when you gave me an answer during the news break before the program that water is not really a big hindrance or an issue for Twin Falls County.
I've worked with water all my life, and my father was on the Water Resource Board. My grandfather was on Twin Falls Canal Company. We have the finest water right on the Snake River. So there's a lot of people that are going to be hurting for water before we are on this project. We have great water rights. We defend those water rights ferociously, and so that's great. And then the city itself has been very good at picking up extra water. So they have good potable water available for expansion in the future.
Let me have 1 minute break. I'll be right back with Terry Kramer, and he's the incumbent for Twin Falls County Commission. We'll have more with him momentarily. Kent Searle wants your vote to become District 3 Cassia County Commissioner on May 15th. Kent Searle, lifelong resident of Cassia County, has the experience of being a farmer and a dairyman, and the service to you as an EMT and first responder. He's gained your trust serving on the Ag Advisory Committee and the Gateway Powerline Committee. Kent Searle says, together, we can make Cassia County even better. Kent Searle for District 3 Cassia County Commissioner, May 15th. Dan Gammon, Treasurer. And also over in Jerome County, Ben Crouch wants your vote to become Jerome County District 1 County Commissioner. Ben Crouch says it's time for a fresh approach in Jerome County leadership, and he's the man for the job. Ben has the business knowledge and the ability to solve problems, and his decisive leadership will help Jerome County. Vote for Ben Crouch, Jerome County District 1 Commissioner on May 15th, paid for by the committee to elect Ben Crouch Treasurer. Terry, what are some of the things that you personally would like to accomplish? I know you're running with an opposition this year for your seat, and what makes you the best man for the job?
So Twin Falls County has 4 relatively new elected officials out of the 9. And so my experience, I think, is critical in being able to have institutional knowledge on how things work and how things got to where they are today. Because things don't just happen. They're there for a reason and a purpose, and we develop a plan to move this forward. The people that are there today do not have that institutional knowledge, and I need a couple of more years to help transfer that knowledge to someone else so that it's not lost. It's critical that we do this. My new commissioners are excellent people, but the learning curve has been really steep, and they have been learning the things that they are responsible to do. We divide things up. And so we have our own expertise in certain areas.
Right.
They've been learning their areas. They have not ventured into the areas that I do. It was interesting, the EMT thing. I've been an EMT for 36 years at Castleford. And so I work with the hospital, the public health, the EMS. I do all of those things. And so I need to transfer some of that knowledge to them on those areas, plus just the regular institutional knowledge of how do you operate the county as a whole.
You know, Terry, I don't think people realize, and I think I was guilty of this until I really got involved in politics on this program, a day in the life of, be it a senator, a congressman, or a county commissioner, it's not just a piece of cake, is it?
No, it's really interesting. I always tell people that our county commissioner job is three separate jobs. One is personnel. We deal with all the personnel issues. You know, the buck stops at our office. We do hirings, we do salaries, we do firings, we do investigations. We're in charge of that. Number two is the business. We do all the contracts, all of the daily business operations. And number three is public relations, like this. We talk, we go to meetings, we represent you in a multitude of different areas, from noxious weeds to hospital boards to CERCOM. I mean, we represent the population. So it's public relations for a third of it. So that's kind of the way we divide it up.
I would imagine that being a farmer especially, you've got time commitments, you've got to worry about your crops, your planting, your harvest, your water, everything else. Then how do you know about what your weekly routine is going to be with the various meetings and everything? I mean, a lot of this comes up at a minute's notice, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm a full-time commissioner. I have excellent help, and so all I do is pay the bills and sort of sign the contracts at the farm. The people that work for me have been there for 40 years and can do an excellent job for me, so I'm really blessed. So all I do is just the business end of it.
Let's talk a little bit more about what you mentioned a minute ago. You know, you're a full-time commissioner, but you didn't learn this job overnight. I mean, it's not something you can just open the door and sit down at a desk and be successful at, is it?
No, you're not very successful when you sit down at the desk the first time.
I can imagine. But there's a lot to learn, and you have to learn about the wants of the people, and you have to work and try to be copacetic to all sides. It's not easy, I would imagine.
It is not easy, but people are very tolerant. I've had very few people that were really angry at me. We sit down, we try to solve the problem. So we have a very open office. You come to our office, and we will do everything we can do to help you get done what you need to get done. Now, some things you just can't do. So if you're not going to pay your taxes, you know, we will work with you, but if you refuse to pay your taxes, you will lose your place.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the way the law says. And, you know, unless we can find a way to work with you to get you to understand or find you something, you know, we have to do some really, really bad things sometimes.
Yeah.
But we have 7 properties this year that we're taking on tax deeds, and we have tried to work very hard with those people, and it hasn't worked. So that's just one of those bad things you have to do.
Let me ask you this to wrap things up here. Your goals and aspirations for the county, and then also bright spots. Are you really optimistic about what can happen to Twin Falls County?
Oh, absolutely. Twin Falls County is a stellar community. It has all of the natural resource base that draws people here. It has the college. It has the climate. It has the economic power. It has the diversity. So Twin Falls County, I think, will do nothing but grow, and we're going to draw excellent people here that want a good quality of life. And so our goal is to create an environment that they want to come here and be part of us, not change us to be part of them.
Bingo. I'm going to give you exactly 1 minute to tell everybody why they need to have Terry Kramer as the incumbent again for Twin Falls County Commission.
Okay. Well, thank you. So Twin Falls County is strong and prosperous currently, and it needs leadership that knows how we got there. And so I am the incumbent. I have 11 years of experience, and I want to continue that prosperity for Twin Falls County. So I'm asking everyone to vote on May 15th for Kramer for Commissioner, because I am the best choice there, and let's keep Twin Falls County strong and prosperous.
Terry, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. Terry Kramer, farmer and county commissioner, thank you for being on the program.
Well, thank you a lot.
God bless, man. I'm sorry I can't get up and see you to the door. Right now, let's have this good word for Tommy Ahlquist. I'll be right back.
Brad Little is desperate, unable to defend his record of raising
taxes and increasing his pay. Professional politician Brad Little is falsely attacking conservative outsider Tommy Ahlquist. The truth? Conservative business leader Dr. Tommy Ahlquist has new ideas and a fresh approach that will move us forward. Tommy Ahlquist will lower taxes, cut wasteful spending, create more jobs, and enact term limits on politicians elected statewide. Like President Donald Trump is changing Washington, conservative business leader Tommy Ahlquist will shake up the status quo. That's why Brad Little is making false negative attacks against conservative outsider Tommy Ahlquist. Professional politician Brad Little is losing his campaign for governor because he raised your taxes and increased his pay. But if Brad's false attacks continue, he'll lose his reputation too. Professional politicians Labrador and Little, 29 years is long enough. Paid for by Tommy for Idaho, Orville Thompson, Treasurer.
And thank you very much. Don't forget, on Thursdays, we have a special segment on my program called Cassia County School Days, and I thank our two sponsors, wonderful people, A Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley, with all the baby gifts and the baby clothing and the baby furniture, everything for the family. You stop in and enjoy shopping at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And don't forget, too, the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland and Burley. For your outpatient surgeries, they can and they will save you money. They're located again at 1344 Highland Avenue, and the number to call, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County on Thursdays, and that's, of course, at 1010. By the way, don't forget, May 15th, re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County Commissioner, District 3. Tim knows that Cassia County has a lot to offer with its heritage and history, and he wants to help move the county forward. Tim Darrington has been very involved in updating county policy reimbursement and in updating Cassia's software. Re-elect Tim Darrington as Cassia County District 3 Commissioner, May 15th, paid for by the Darrington for Commissioner, Gail Erickson, Treasurer. And right now, we are going to send this over in just a moment to our main studios. I want to remind you quickly that on Friday and Saturday, don't forget to stop in at Mad River Laser on the historic Rupert Square. My goodness, they're going to have the artist, the personalization artist, Charlene, customizing your gifts. Very interesting and really intriguing to stop by and see what they're going to have in the store. All the great Mother's Day items, etc. 10% off on all your gift shop purchases right next to the Idaho Youth Ranch on the square in Rupert, 502 East Street. Stop by this Friday and Saturday and meet the artist at Mad River Laser. Now we'll send it over to our main studios for this break. I'll be right back.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
We're running a little bit late, and I want to say to our guest that's waiting on the phone line, I'll be right there as soon as I can. Regis, please have patience. And right now, I want to remind everybody, too, Jim Patrick running for re-election for State Senate District 25. He says thank you to everybody that supported him in the past, and he's asking for your vote again on Tuesday, May 15th. Jim, a 40-year farmer and 20-year bank director, understands business and agriculture in the state of Idaho, and he wants to continue to support you. So please, he's asking for your vote on Tuesday, May 15th. State Senator, District 25, Jim Patrick, paid for by Jim Patrick for Senate District 25. Wheels, may we quickly have this good word for Brad Little.
When electing a governor, character counts. That's why Congressman Mike Simpson is endorsing Brad Little. Mike Simpson knows that Brad Little's word is his bond. Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will protect our water rights from radical environmentalists. And Mike Simpson knows Brad Little will keep the Second Amendment strong. Here's Congressman Mike Simpson.
Brad Little is a third-generation Idaho rancher who will fight hard for our conservative values. Brad will never buckle to liberal pressure. He'll stand up to federal bureaucrats who want to take our water and our land, and he'll defend our Second Amendment rights to protect our families and our property. Brad Little is a tax cutter. Brad Little is pro-life. Brad Little is the conservative you can trust.
On May 15th, join Congressman Mike Simpson in voting for Brad Little, a rancher rancher, a conservative, a courageous leader. Brad Little will be the strong governor Idaho needs. Paid for by Brad Little for governor. Vicki Risch, treasurer.
And thank you very much. And right now we've kept her waiting long enough. I really appreciate this lady coming on my program because she's going to talk about a subject that just infuriated me about 10 days ago when I heard the Boy Scouts are no longer going to be the Boy Scouts. They're just going to be gender neutral. Hello, Regis Giles. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
I am so sorry to keep you waiting. It's political season, and as you can be well aware, Regis, we are really filled with all the political announcements, but thank you for your patience. Tell us quickly about, you're the author of a book that I really want to urge people to go get and read. Tell us a little bit about your book before we get started this morning.
I wrote a book called How to Not Be a hashtag Me Too Victim, but a hashtag Warrior Chick. And it was in response to the ugly side of ladies I saw during the Me Too movement. And that was their very blatant insecurity in their own selves to defend their lives. And I've been training jiu-jitsu for 17 years now, just as adequately trained with handguns, and so I'm not concerned about my own safety, and so I don't need to make false accusations that men are sexually harassing or assaulting me. So my book is to help give women who feel like they are threatened by men the real self-security that they need in order to function in a day-to-day lifestyle where men can be men and women can be women. And this book is the exact answer on how to avoid ever placing yourself in a fight in a situation where you will be raped or sexually assaulted.
Regis, you mentioned something in that last little sentence. And are you still there, Regis? Did we lose the caller? Please, Wheels, tell me.
Yes, sir. I believe we did. Can you go ahead and try to call her back?
All right, call her right back, and I'll do a commercial while we're waiting, please. I want to remind everybody, too, as I said, we're in the middle of political season. I want to remind folks about our dear friend, and that's Carl Hansen. Wants your vote on May 15th to be your Minidoka County Commissioner. Carl has the leadership experience as a hospital CEO for 29 years, 18 of which were at Minidoka Hospital. He's an organizer and a communicator. Carl Hansen wants to address the challenges in Minidoka County and help solve them. Paid for by Carl Hansen from Minidoka County Commissioner, Jason Gibbons, Treasurer. Let's see if we have that reestablished. Is our guest back on the phone?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Regis, I don't know what happened. The phone line went dead. That happens on occasion. Let me ask you, you just said something very interesting a moment ago. Men can be men. Well, with what happened with the Boy Scouts in the last couple of days, I don't think that's true anymore. We're making a gender-neutral society, and we are completely cutting men out of the equation. Would you agree or not?
I would, and there's been very clear and public demonstration from the feminist movement where they want to absolutely remove the word man from our vocabulary. That anything that has the word man is going to be removed. That's their goal, and this is what we're seeing with the Boy Scouts, now dubbed just the Scouts, because being a boy is politically incorrect these days. And it's scary because I know a lot of people who served in the Boy Scouts. These people were raised in this environment, in this culture, in the Boy Scouts that brought them to be very strong leaders in this nation. A lot of them turned senators, military leaders, generals, and things like that. These are characteristics that you cannot replace, that the Boy Scouts teach. It stands for God and freedom, and now the culture that we're being taught today is, no, it's not okay to be a Boy Scout anymore. You have to accept a more feminine side of life, and now it's preposterous. And the whole thing that's even more absurd about this is that there's already spaces for such organizations. There's the Girl Scouts, which they're very ticked off about this whole situation. And there's also Venture, which is a co-ed organization that allows boys and girls to go off and do camping adventures together. So there's really no need to invade into the Boy Scouts and make them less boyish, less manly than the left has already tried to make it.
Well, Regis, let me ask you this. What is the purpose? I don't mean to sound like I'm naive about this, but really, what is the purpose of eliminating men and people that act like men from our society? What purpose or benefit is it to the feminist movement or to any movement to eliminate men and have basically a unisex society? Why?
In my opinion, it's a Solinsky rules for radicals type method where they're trying to destroy the family unit. You take men from the family, you take the strong leaders from the family, and you create this kind of fluidity in the family unit, and you create a society that can be easily controlled and manipulated by the government. So that is my opinion on this whole matter. Now, does it sound ridiculous? How can one equal the other? It's been proven, and it's been informed by and enforced by his message. Read the book Rules for Radicals, and you can see how scary it is.
Yeah.
And these are things that the left knows and understands, and they've been going at this for a very long time, trying to destroy the traditional family unit. And we can't let that happen. There's nothing wrong with men being men and women being women. And if a woman wants to be outgoing and successful and do things that the Boy Scouts does, because I was raised hunting since I was 13 years old. I've been on many adventures and things like that. I was trained in jiu-jitsu, and I surfed and hunted and fished, and so I definitely wasn't the girly girl, but I still don't think that imposing on man time, on dude time, is right. I think guys should have their guy time, and girls, we definitely have our girl time. There's nothing wrong with being gender specific in your activities.
Well, we have seen, and tell me if you think I'm wrong on this, Regis, but we've seen the infiltration of in the golf world, the LPGA. Now the lady golfers want to join in the PGA events. We've seen many say, well, we want to play professional baseball in the major leagues. We've seen others say, well, we're just as good. Let's not have a WNBA. Let's just join the NBA. Again, a unisex society. But what about the standard family values of having a Girl Scout and a Girl Scout troop? What's going to happen to the family traditional values? What's going to happen to these people?
That's a good question, and who knows? But I'm hoping that there's enough conservatives out there who will not tolerate this, will in fact protest the Boy Scouts and take their kids out of that system and place them in another organization that will accept their conservative, traditional, let the boys be boys type mentality, let the girls be girls. And again, I'm not saying girls aren't allowed to go camping and stuff like that, but the Boy Scouts is an organization that is trying to build characteristics to make these boys young boys strong leaders of the future. And it's the same thing for the Girl Scouts. And each sex has a different necessity, a different need, a different call. And this is not just from a characteristic standpoint. This is called from a an equipment standpoint, a policy standpoint. If you implement girls into the Boy Scouts, there's going to have to be an additional adult leader on campus. There's going to be additional equipment. It's the same thing as implementing women into the military. More equipment, more stuff that everyone has to haul. And again, there's nothing wrong with being adventurous and going out there. I do it all. But there's some organizations that guys just need to be guys.
Well, let me ask you, and I'll kind of wrap it up this way, Regis, but I look at churches, I look at schools, I look at political situations. People don't have the backbone to stand up today for moral and family values, and we're letting this cancer eat our society of a unisex society, a gay and liberal society, and it's killing family and moral values. When are people going to stand up and say enough is enough?
Well, I'm definitely saying it. My dad on Clash Daily, he's saying it. And there's plenty of young people out there who do not agree with this. But the problem is letting the media coverage be shown on top of these people. Right now, the left is highly censoring conservative values on the online front and on the mainstream media front. So what I would say is let your voices be heard. Don't accept what the mainstream media feeds you, and don't bow the knee to this ludicrous behavior, because at the end of the day, if we have no strong men in our nation, no real leaders, then what will lead this nation to? What will this nation end up? And again, women can be strong just as much, but we also need to have strong men in this nation. God placed them as at the head of the household for a reason. So something has to start changing here.
You know, when you say something has to start changing, I totally agree with you, but you know, the liberal media today always taking the side of the unisex society or the effemination of America, but you know, we've got to start someplace. Are you optimistic that we can turn this thing around? Maybe it was a trend for a while and maybe we can stop it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm always optimistic, and because number one, God is King and He's the victor. Jesus Christ is sitting at the right hand of our Father. So the evil devices will not succeed. There's no way it can succeed because there's just an inherent nature instilled in boys and girls to be men and to be women. And I see it through my nephew. I see it through my niece. He likes to play with dirt and trucks and have fun. And she likes playing in the garden and getting dirty too, but she will pick up a purse, and she's only 1 year old. No one taught her this, and sashay her way around the house. So there's obviously very different characteristics naturally. And for liberals to say that it's natural for kids to be gender neutral is not.
Absolutely.
It's not scientific. It's not biological. It's not what is natural. So I think this fad is going to die down. There's no way it can continue, and I'm praying and hoping that it will happen sooner than later.
Absolutely. Regis Giles, you're welcome here anytime. My apologies for being a little late getting you on the air this morning. I absolutely salute you and want you to come back in the future. God bless you for your thoughts this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thank you very much. And she is the author of How Not to Be a Me Too Victim, but a Warrior Chick. And I appreciate it. And you know what? She's also got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So a very important young lady, Regis Giles. Thank you. Don't forget Scott Bedke, State Representative and Speaker of the House, District 27, Seat A, urges you to go vote in the primary election next Tuesday, May 15th. Don't forget, stand up and let your voice be heard in this very important time of the year. And remember to bring your picture ID when you go to vote. Paid for by Representative Scott Bedke of Oakley, Sarah Bedke, Treasurer. Right now, we're going to have this good word for Fred Wood, and then a weather forecast. Wheels, if you would, please.
Re-elect Representative Fred Wood, District 27. Here's Fred's views on water.
Zeb, without water, Idaho as we know it would not exist. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled in favor of salmon versus power production. As a senior member of the House Resources Committee, I will do everything within my power to stop downstream interests from taking Idaho's water.
Vote May 15th. Representative Fred Wood, District 27, paid for by the committee to re-elect Fred Wood, Steve Westfall, Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And right now, let's go to the weather forecast. Man, oh man, it is hard to sit here in this studio on a day like this. It is beautiful outside. Our weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats. And, of course, Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, my goodness, all those delicious meats. The marinated prime ribs and the smoked hams and all the buckboard bacons and the different flavors and the breakfast sausages and bratwurst. Woo! The list goes on, and it is all delicious. Scarro's Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another beautiful day here in the valley. However, as we make our way towards the weekend, there is some precipitation that's going to be looming in the forecast. Here is your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny skies is what we're expecting today. High of 79. Winds out of the southwest, right around 5 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 53. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies and a high of 81. However, for tomorrow night, looks like some clouds are going to be moving in. Mostly cloudy skies with a low of 52. Partly sunny for Thursday. Winds are going to be picking up as well out of the southwest, right around 10 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts possible as high as 24 miles an hour with a high of 70. Thursday night, slight chance of rain showers and thunder bumpers in the forecast. Mostly cloudy skies and a low of 43. That could stick around for Friday. Slight chance of showers, then a slight chance of thunderstorms by the afternoon, mostly cloudy, and a high of 61. That's your weather forecast for Zeb.
And thank you, Gina. Always doing a great job. Thank you very much. And the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. It is really true. Don Scarrow and the crew changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Delicious. Scarro's Meats. Tomorrow on the program, we're going to have kind of an interesting list of guests. We have Dave Bego from Indianapolis, Indiana. And then we're going to have one of my dear friends. And I tell you, I've got a lot of respect for Senator Kelly Anthon's going to be on the program. And then Ray Bagby's going to be on the show talking all about the great big event coming up this weekend. It's the Pioneer Village Days over at Declo at 930 East, 153 South. Don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun both days on Friday and Saturday. And then at 10:30, we're expecting an interview with Tommy Ahlquist, running for governor for the state of Idaho. So we've got a full plate all the way through tomorrow's program. By the way, too, don't forget our major sponsor, and that's your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And they say, get ready for a road trip. Let's get out of Dodge City. Well, I'll tell you what, they've got all the tires and all the different tread designs to help you. Check it out today for your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, everything, all the different tires to help you drive safely. And don't forget, too, they'll give you a free pre-trip safety check on your vehicle. Make sure you get where you're going and come on back home safe at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Nobody better. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see them today. Wheels, good job over at the studio. Thank you much. It's busy times up until May 15th, primary election day. Some of the primaries across the United States started today. I know Ohio and Indiana and some of the other states. Ours, of course, next Tuesday, and be sure and go vote. Right now, we're going to ramp up the program and say we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8:06, and we'll saddle the horse and ride for 3 hours. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:06. Here's a good word for Tommy Ahlquist, and then Wheels take us up to CBS News.